Darlington Raceway, Bristol, Rockingham, Alabama International Motor Speedway. Take the state back. Better known as Talladega. All right, guys, start your engines. Who knows where we'll go when we go back in the day? Who doesn't like going back in the day? Welcome back. All right, we've closed on the first race from the Rock, the 1965 win by Curtis Turner. Now we're watching the 1973 Carolina 500 at the Rock. You know, in 2004, I got my first and only top 5 at that track. I'd have liked to have had a few more shots at the wins, but that was the last time we ran there. Oh well, let's see who gets the win today.
Bobby Allison in the Chevy number 12 is running second and bent on catching Pearson, but he just doesn't seem to have the power. 11, the car care Chevy driven by Cale Yarborough is the first of the leaders to pit. He gets fuel and rubber and tells Junior Johnson the seat is loose. This could give him some large-size problems. The first caution flag of the day is out when Clarence Lovell spins his Chevy in the turn and careens against the inner guardrail. This brings the action to pit row. Petty slides in and they start working on the car before he even stops. The Wood brothers have David out in 20 seconds. Pearson leads all cars down for another green flag, and the restart is officially underway. Pearson's big Mercury number 21 is out in front and moving away. Petty is second with Cale Yarborough third. On the 114th lap, Dave Marcus brings the American Motors Matador entry into the pits with engine problems. This race represents the first time they've run the big 425-inch mill, and Penske felt that they'd have some bugs to iron out. When the crew discovers a blown piston, the car is parked behind the wall. The second caution flag is out when Ray Williams loses his Ford in the second turn and spins it all the way around. When the crew pushes him off the track, they get a little scared as Buck Baker spins his Chevy right behind them. Meanwhile, Richard Petty is the first to take advantage of the yellow and hits his number 43 dive.
Rock's not an annual stop on the tour. You know, in 2004, it's a tough... Let me start over. That sucked. That's not total domination. That's pretty cool stuff.
Start the move.
When do you want me to start? Man, did you see that? Oh, man, this is getting good. Stick around, because there's more to come when we go back in the day. The show was Car and Track, and the man, well, that was Bud Lindemann.
When you turn 40 stockers loose, you've got traffic you wouldn't believe.
Good suit, Bud. Are y'all ready to go back in the day, people? Welcome back. All right, we're watching the 1973 Carolina 500 from Rockingham. You know, in the race we saw earlier, Richard Petty and David Pearson, they were having a tough time of it. That was 8 years ago, and it looks like in this race they got it figured out.
When the green flag falls, the fans are treated to another Pearson-Petty duel. Bobby Allison is running third with Buddy Baker holding down the fourth spot. Petty high. They're both running for second, with Pearson still showing them the way. David Cisco spun his 05 car in the third turn. As he was sliding down the bank, Pearson and Petty roared around him on the high side and just squeaked through. With a yellow out, the pit crews get ready to service their cars. Watch this action. And David Pearson is still number one. Petty works Pearson over through every turn and still can't get around him. Buddy Baker has moved into third in the K&K Dodge number 71. Another one. Benny Parsons popped a radiator hose and spun in the water he dumped on the track, and once again narrowly avoiding a bad accident. On the restart, Pearson and Petty look like they're glued together. Richard is one lap down and tries every trick in the book to get around David. When they run like that, somebody has to brake. This time, it was Petty. When he pits, Maurice and the crew go under the hood, discover a blown piston, and park the Charger behind the wall. Now, it's all David. Cale Yarborough is second, Baker is third, but they're both one lap down. Pearson's Purolator Mercury sounds stronger on every lap. He owns the raceway with a full lap lead over the second-place Chevy driven by Cale Yarborough. The seat in Cale's car has broken away from the roll bars. He's holding on with one hand and driving with the other. Uh-oh, watch this. Pearson runs over some metal debris lying on the track and flats a tire. This brings another yellow flag out while they clean it up. David screams into the pits. The Wood brothers change the damaged right front tire and throw in a few gallons of fuel. But while he's in, Cale Yarborough flies by to unlap himself. Pearson stops a quick one, but now Yarborough has closed the gap. Pearson still holds the front spot on the restart, but now Cale is within striking distance. Buddy Baker in the Dodge 71 is also in the same lap with the leaders. Almost lost his numbers on that one. The car in the low groove drifted up and brushed Buddy in the turns, but they're both all right. That broken seat in Cale Yarborough's number 11 Chevy could make the difference. Having to hold on with one hand and drive with the other makes it pretty difficult, especially through the turns. He's still second and trying his best to close on Pearson. With a white flag out, David has one more tour of the oval, and this one is all his. There he goes. The checkered flag snaps down over the Mercury number 21, and David Pearson wins the 8th annual Carolina 500. Cale Yarborough finishes second, Buddy Baker third, and Bobby Allison takes the 4th place money. Out of a 492-lap race, David Pearson led 491 of them, and that's a super speedway first in the 25-year history of NASCAR. There's no doubt that the boy from Spartanburg, South Carolina, was in a hurry.
So on his way to victory, David Pearson leads all but one lap in the 1973 Carolina 500. And how about Curtis Turner winning the first ever Cup race held at the Rock in 1965? That's pretty cool stuff. Well, the Rock's not an annual stop on our tour anymore, but it's a big part of NASCAR's history. The drivers, the tracks, the cars, they change, but the racing always stays the same. Check us out next time when we go back in the day. All right, bud, give us that line you give us every week.
So till next week, drive carefully, won't you? All the pros do. And bye-bye.